right, everyone. So I am back. So I went back and listened to the video, and I realized that it had went to my AirPods headphones and did not, in fact, go to my microphone, which is the reason why the audio quality sounds so much better now than it did before. With that being the case, I felt the need to re-engage. That video is going to be removed, and this is going to be the new one that's going to go uploaded. With that being said, I'm extremely tired right now. I don't feel like showing my face again. But I am more than willing to speak and kind of clear up some things. So I use some audio visual aids to kind of help that process. But if you're just coming into the chat, go ahead and please type 1 so I can see. I just want to make sure that the actual comments are coming up, because I didn't see any last time, but I did see one person in the live chat. So with that being the case, I'm going to use some visual aids to kind of walk you through, and I'm going to reintroduce it because I don't think anybody wants to sit and listen through the quality of that audio. It was really bad. I was unaware. That's negligence on my part. I should have did that as part of my pre-checks before I went live. But with that being the case, we are going to push through this. So I'm going to cover all the same information, but with a little bit more energy and a little at a much quicker pace. We'll say it like that, right? So again, this is going to be on the new free course that I'm offering. I'm on Prolegomena, the doctrine of Scripture. Okay, so let me make that clear. I'm not going to go too much into what Prolegomena is, but it in effect means before we speak, right? So it is what defines our terms before we begin to unpack what God has spoken, how has he spoken. It's kind of what we presuppose about the scripture to be true based off its self-attestation, right? And so I want to push through that information and kind of lay it out there. So I see one comment in the chat. That's called Anthony. He typed a 1. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you very much. I'm glad y'all can hear me. Again, I apologize for the last video. It was a little bit shaky, right? So, and I didn't realize that. So again, that's my fault, right? So the whole point of this live stream is to promote this free course that I've done. I think it's going to be really beneficial. It's going to cover the doctrine of Scripture, in particular the doctrine of inspiration, right? And just unpacking what that means. I think that's really important. And for those of you who are into what has become known as urban apologetics or anything like that, any type of apologetics, anything dealing with Scripture and defense of it, you're going to run into the issue of inspiration. And you're going to have to answer questions such as, is what Jesus said of greater authority or greater weight than what Paul said? Is what Moses said of greater authority than what Paul said? How do we harmonize those things? Is all scripture equally inspired? What does inspired even mean? So these are all questions we have to ask because it's going to affect the way that we approach the rest of the Bible and its topics, right? In its statements, right? So hermeneutics and canon are inevitably affected by this topic. And so I know it is worthwhile going through the material to make it as beneficial and understandable to those who may not have had to work through these issues, right? So again, this course is free. I'm leveraging my time and money to make it available. It is somewhat underwritten by my Patreon folks, but overall, the Patreon's not that big. So this is at my expense for all of you all, right? So for anybody interested in it, there's going to be more information following this. It's also included in the description of the video if you want to reach out to me. But what I am going to do is I'm going to post my actual email address here. So if you want to reach out to me, just send the email to bereanreformationministries@gmail.com. And I will get you set up with the class. We went through this first week. It was really good. I'm going to walk through that in a little bit more detail so you can understand exactly what was accomplished in this class and how the structure kind of goes, right? So let me go back here real quick. All right, so take this banner down. Okay, cool. So, with that being said, I'm going to show you a preview of the class, or it's not a preview, it's in full effect now, but I want to go back and kind of explain a few things. So let me go ahead and remove this from there. We're going to hide that. All right, I got my voice back up. Hold on. Give me 1 second here. All right. So hopefully you can see that. I'm going to assume it's clear because I see it on my end. All right. So this is the Google Classroom that I have set up in order to conduct the class. All right. So there's about 3 things that are in here. You have the Prolegomena, which is what I just talked about, the discussion board, which is a aspect of the actual course that's going to involve more group and discussion and questions. And then another class I'm working on, covenant and theology, working through the covenants. All right, so that's going to be the primary focus there. That is not up and running. I just uploaded some of the course material for that today, but it is not available because it's not operational yet. But I just want to let you know that it will be. And when that time comes, I will let you all know. But now for the discussion at hand, just to stay on topic. Right here. Go. All right. So as you see right here, this is the actual class right here. This is how it's laid out. Just go ahead and in the comments section, if you can tell me if it is clear, if you can see that. I'm just keep going until I see a response. Also, I apologize for the noises in the background. My daughter's sick, so she is going to be, sniffling a lot. So, but with that being said, this is the class right here. It's going to have the all the things that I posted. Basically, it's going to have a format where you'll see everything as soon as you log in. Once you're registered for the class, it'll automatically send you updates to your email. Okay. So this is just the outline of everything that's there. There's the weekly Zoom chat. So with this will come a weekly Zoom chat. It went pretty well, this past one. It's going to involve a combination of discussion and interaction directly with me. We're going to be going over stuff that happened during the week, answering questions about assignments, things of that nature. In addition to that, there's breakout sessions where, I'll separate you all into groups. You'll discuss a certain topic. Carl Anthony said, yeah, I can see it. All right, appreciate that, brother. You will break out into groups and have a discussion, and then you will come back and reintroduce yourself in the chat. Okay, so you all will, I'll pose some questions. You'll have to find an answer, defend your answer, and basically we'll go from there. Right, so with that being in the case, let me go to the classwork portion so it's more... it's a little bit more broken down that way, right? So with the course, you'll actually get included all the materials that you need, right? So anything that I require or expect from the course that you'll have to do the actual exercises with, the documents will be in there, right? So for instance, I'll give you an example. So I stuck a slideshow in there. I'm going to actually title on my Patreon before. But I upload the slideshow, right? So you're able to access it, read through it, get an orientation to what's going on, some study questions, going through the definition of inspiration, which is the first week of the course material. We're on week 2, but we're not too far ahead. So we're just on week 2, right? So this is week 1 stuff, but it's the PowerPoint that works you through it. This is just to give you a basic foundation of what the course is actually about. All right. There's also going to be the entire document that's listed there. That's going to also include all the information that you need for the course. And there'll be assigned reading throughout the weeks that correlate to what we're actually talking about within this document. Okay. So that'll be worthwhile. I think it'll be truly beneficial. Down here, we have the definition of inspiration, fact of inspiration, issues in formulating a theory of inspiration, theories of inspiration, the method of forming a theory of inspiration, and the extent of inspiration, right? So these are all fancy ways of trying to work through what do we mean by inspiration, and how do we take a good working model for it, right? How does the Bible itself tell us it is to be understood? And so I think that's an important topic. If you can't answer the question, is Moses and Jesus equally inspired? Or if that question doesn't make sense, or if you can't anticipate why somebody would ask that question, then this is probably a good course for you to go through. All right, so it does take an adult learning approach, or also known as andragogical approach, or andragogical. I've heard it said both ways. Basically, it's not a dictation form of learning. It's going to draw on your previous life experiences, and kind of use that context to help you understand what's actually happening, in the coursework. It's self-paced for the most part. You can go over the material as long as you want. Even once we move on from the course, you can access it, go through the material, and I'll probably add new things to it. It's intended to be extremely interactive. It is expected that you will go through and actually dialogue, right? It's going to be a lot of dialogue. It's not going to be a whole lot of me telling you, hey, write this assignment, turn it in, stuff like that. It's going to be, you as an individual, I'm going to challenge you in your views and kind of, help you work through the material. Although there are particular course materials, I am not committed to any one of them. I don't think any particular theology is entirely comprehensive besides the Bible itself, right? So the Bible itself is theology. It's the unveiling of who God is, right? So there's no one single method that accounts for all that the scripture teaches. They're all attempts to interpret it, but I think it is a task that God has given us. So I did a video on that. If you want to go back and go look at what is theology, right? That's important. So go ahead and watch that video. It'll kind of give you my perspective on what is theology and, when it began. It's not academic. It has functioned in academic circles, but it's not an academic pursuit. It's a pursuit of mankind. It's a way of man and his God it's an invitation for man to know his God, right? And so given the fact that we are after the fall, there's inherent problems involved in how we try to approach it, also known as the noetic effects of the fall, in particular KNOETIC, the noetic effects. I believe I spelled that right. If not, charge against my head, not my heart. All right. So, without going too much into more, this is basically how this works, right? So I'm going to include all the information there. So there's a lot of stuff going on. It's ongoing. Again, it's free, at no cost to any of you. So I would love it if you took advantage of that. Again, if you're worried about privacy or your email address, just make up some random Gmail, right? If you don't want to get email from me to your personal email or whatever, not a problem at all. Just go ahead and create a new Gmail account, send that information, and you can designate that Gmail account specifically for this particular class, right? There will be Zoom meetings, like I said, every week. That's going to kind of capstone everything that we've talked about. All right, but before I continue on, is there any questions in the chat so far? If there is, please ask. I am more than happy to answer them. Take a break for a second while I start sharing my screen, and then I'll wait. Let me go to the Patreon class now. All right, and I'm only going to bring the Patreon up for a particular reason. And I'll let you know here in a second why. Go ahead and end this real quick. All right, so you should be able to see this right here. Okay. All right. So the only reason why I'm bringing this up is because I have a limited time offer, and if you join the Patreon now, you will get and for $5 you'll get lifetime access to Logos Bible software, complimentary of myself. All right. Again, I don't do this for the money. The whole purpose of the money is to give people a chance to attach monetary value to what they're receiving. I'm a firm believer that anybody who values or anybody who puts a value on something monetarily will use it to its maximum effectiveness. With that being said, the Patreon, there's a lot of information I put in there. There's a lot of other stuff that I address, articles, videos, commentary, stuff like that I have on there. And it's 5 days left to get lifetime access to Logos Bible software, complimentary of me. There's no commitment and beyond the initial join. So just keep that in mind. I try to keep the cost-benefit ratio in favor of the individual. Again, it's for you all to get something out of it. I'm not trying to. I don't want you to give me money. I don't want it. I just want you to value what you have, right? And that being the case, this is a chance and to do that. Now, with that being said, the course is free, right? I'm not charging anything. I will not ask you for any money while you're participating in the course. I have a livelihood. I'm completely fine with being bivocational. Right? That's not an issue for me. So with that being said, yeah, and just consider it. It's only 5 days left. Once that 5 days is over, I don't know when I'll run the promotion again. Again, the goal is not to get money. It's just to help you value, or it's just to put a value on something so you'll take it more seriously. So with that being said, and the Logos Bible software does come with a lot of stuff. If you subscribe, you will get, I think I have 3,300 resources in there. And I'll work you through how to use a lot of the tools. There's a whole bunch of videos on YouTube. I just upgraded to Logos version 9. So it's updated. It's the most recent version. There's a whole lot of stuff in there. So if you are involved in ministry or if you're looking to do that, it's a great tool for that. I get nothing out of it. So just keep that in mind. I don't get a commission off of this or anything. So that being said, I'm not going to labor that point anymore, but I am going to go back to the actual class again because there's a few things I want to show you. But before I move on, is there any questions so far in the chat? I don't see any. But I am going to, again, if you want to reach me, go ahead to bereanreformationministries@gmail.com. Send me an email. State exactly what you're interested in participating in. There's also the email address in the description. You can go ahead and click on it there as well. So just shoot me an email at that address and we'll chop it up. Absolutely. All right, so I'm gonna take that down. Actually, I'll leave it up. Okay. Let's go back to the class again because I want to actually show you some other things I have going on. All right, cool. Okay, so just let you know there's going to be other courses, all right, and I'm going to be dealing with, all right? So covenant theology, all right, that's another one. We're going to be walking through all the biblical covenants, what they mean, their purpose, and all that good stuff. Carl Anthony. Okay, Carl Anthony asks, "Is the class through Patreon?" So no, this class is not through Patreon. This class is on Google Classroom, and it is free. All right. So if you want to take part in it, it's you have to go to Patreon and to do it. Um, I think Patreon is great, but it's not built for this kind of thing. So what I'm going to be doing is any interaction you want to have regarding the course material will happen in Google Classroom. So if you have questions about the material, or you want some more information on it, or you just want to dialogue with me on the topic, that will be the place and to do it, and it costs you nothing. You can either type it, or you can hit me up and be like, "Hey, I'd like to talk with you on this point. I don't understand it," or you'd like to challenge a certain imposition or anything like that. I'm 100% available. That's where you can reach me. I want to create an environment where the topics are organized and where we stay on point, and that's where these things are actually resolved. So it creates an isolated environment, a conceptual space for you all to work through the issue, and where we can kind of document it for posterity's sake, right? So that you can take what you learned there, any information, and move on. And the class isn't going anywhere, so you can come back to it at any time. It doesn't cost, like, I have zero overhead in the class, so I'm not going to charge you all for it. So yeah. Carl Anthony gave me a thumbs up. So yeah, you're good. Completely free. Nothing expected. I would not ask you for money. Nothing. So your participation in it will never be contingent on my financial gain. It just costs me time, and that's it. And it's worth it as far as I'm concerned. So yeah. So as these classes are built, there'll be more to follow on it. Please spread the word. Again, it's free. So everybody loves free stuff. The Patreon is to get extra benefits to other stuff. But that's all. That's a separate platform altogether. Everyone that's in my Patreon participates in the class, but not everybody in the class is required to participate in the Patreon. So yeah. All right, sorry about that. I had to take care of something real quick. All right, so yeah, they're two separate environments. Don't worry about it. Okay, don't don't worry about having to be a part of one to be a part of the other. Um, they're not related necessarily. All right. All right, so I'm going to end that. And before I end it, is there any questions anybody has regarding anything that I said? I want to make sure I was clear in everything that I presented, and that there's a mutual understanding on this particular topic. In addition to that, if you want to ask me other questions about some stuff unrelated, by all means, you are free to. Or as a matter of fact, let me I'm gonna go ahead and post a StreamYard link. All right, so it won't let me post a link in there. Let me see. That's interesting. Interesting. It will not let me post the link. Let me see. Let me create a banner for it. All right. So if you are interested in joining this, go ahead and type the link in, and you can jump on the chat. It won't let me post it in for some reason, and I'm not sure why. That is strange. It usually does. See if there's a different way to do it. See if I can post it in there. All right, so now I posted the link in there. If anybody wants to join and ask me some questions, I'm going to open up the floor now. And then we'll go from there. I'll give it like a minute. Okay. And with that being said, I do not see anybody in the StreamYard right now. So cool. So yeah, that's fine. Completely cool. And with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. What I am going to do is, again, I'm going to post my email address right there. Again, at bereanreformationministries@gmail.com. Okay. Before I head out, again, this is the new free course. It's on Prolegomena, Doctrine of Scripture. You can reach me at that email address. And here, right? So before you go ahead and head out, don't forget to subscribe. First and foremost, thank you. I'll start there. I appreciate all of you who come out and watch the lives. I promise they're only going to get better from here. I'm constantly trying to reform my review and better implement processes that aid in me communicating my ideas. Don't forget to share this video on your social media pages. That would definitely get the word out. And then just go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Right? It's here to benefit you all. I want to make sure as many Christians out there, believers in Messiah, whatever you want to call it, all of those who are wanting to learn, this is for them. So go ahead and like, share, subscribe, and I thank you for your time. With that being said, God bless you, and I'm out.